Thanks for listening to Richmond's Morning News with Rich Aaron on WRVA. All right. Good morning, everybody. With us, you're going to be chasing information all day long. You start with us, we give you what you need, you move on to your day, and people will probably come up to you and go, "Hey, do you know anything about this?" Go, "Yeah, I listen to Richmond's Morning News. That's why I'm informed." Moment. And if you want to comment on the James River Air text line, 833 804. I wanted to bring it up. So I'm driving around on West Broad the other day doing errands. I had to go to the pharmacy. I had to pick up a prescription because we're going on this trip to Ireland this weekend. And I see this one lone woman. I'll be candid, she was a Karen. I see this one Karen standing out in the middle of the day, and she's got a big sign that says "Abolish ICE" and then a bunch of nonsense underneath it. And I drove by and I yelled "Viva ICE" at her, and that was about it. I'll heckle you. You're gonna stand out there, I can heckle you. I think that's fair. But it made me think of something as I saw her out there, and she just had that swagger of a liberal arts degree. You know, just that swagger that everybody needs to listen to me. You've seen Karens with that before, right? And she's standing out there, and she's just dressed like a Karen, right? Just dressed like a 50, 60-year-old Karen, sitting out there just as proud as she can be with her "Abolish ICE" sign. It made me think of something. I want to bring this up with you. And again, you can comment 833-804-1140 as you're getting up this morning. Let me ask you a question. How comfortable are you? How comfortable are you at telling people that you're conservative? How comfortable are you at expressing your political views? Because she was walking around like she didn't have a care in the world. No security. She didn't have people with her. She was standing out there waving her "Abolish ICE" sign like she's got no qualms. She's got no concern. She's not worried about anything. How many of you would be able to do that in Richmond today? How many of you could do that in Virginia right now and not fear that someone is going to get in your chili or even assault you? You see, conservatives are always called fascists. We're a threat to democracy. We're really horrible, awful people. And here's this woman just standing there with the big "Abolish ICE" sign, no fear, no hesitation, nothing. What if I were to stand out there with the sign that says "Support ICE"? How many people do you think would walk up and get on me? Or she had a sign that said that. So I just want to give you a little reality check this morning. I've got a "Make America Great" hat again. Do I dare wear that out in public? I've got a couple Donald Trump t-shirts. I got one from the Redneck Riviera in Nashville. John Rich, Big and Rich. John Rich had one at 47. I hardly ever wear it. Somebody's going to get in my face if I wear that thing. So I'll wear it sometimes, but I make sure I don't go out there and stick it in somebody's face. Now, I see all kinds of other shirts that get right in my chili, but I don't say anything. But when I've worn that shirt, people have either said something to me, yelled at me, were rude to me. But I knew it was coming when I put it on. Got a couple others from the Trump Winery, and I think, if I'm going to wear this today, I have to actually think twice about it. Do you think she thought twice about whether she's going to stand out there with her "Abolish ICE" sign, or does she just have all the swagger in the world like she's the WWE champion? She just walk out there and tell everybody, and no one will say anything to her. And I wanted to bring this up today because I also saw the story, and you've probably seen it on social media, of the reporter from Turning Point USA. Her name's Sarah Hernandez. They sent her out there. They put her in the middle of all of these protests. Listen, if you're going to go out there in the middle of the protest, reporting for TP USA, you're putting yourself in harm's way. You're putting yourself in the middle of a mob where there's no control. It's chaos. It's anarchy. You know what you're getting into. But yet, Well, she's standing out there and she's got some woman, with a high-pitched whistle in her ear and other people sticking their hands in front of her face. Some guy comes along, he's about my size, and he gets a 3-step running start and just trucks her. Boom, knocks her down. Would that happen to the woman that's standing out there, the Karen in Richmond, with the Abolish ICE sign? No. Jessica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, was going to speak yesterday at the University of Georgia. Mind you, this is the widow of a man who was assassinated for his point of view. She had to cancel her appearance yesterday because someone doxed her and told everybody her travel plans. That when she got there, she was going to be safe because J.D. Vance was going to be there. But we now live in a day and age where the widow of a man that was assassinated for his political point of view on a college campus in front of thousands of people, his widow cannot travel to meet and speak in an event with the Vice President of the United States. And I doubt if you see that covered anywhere on any of the major news networks. I doubt if you see that come up anywhere on social media. Fox will probably talk about it. Newsmax will talk about it. But do you think CNN will cover it? Do you think MS Now will cover it? Do you think ABC, NBC, CBS News are going to talk about it? Do you think it'll show up tomorrow morning in the newspaper? Do you think you'll see it anywhere in the Richmond Times-Dispatch? I just want to bring this up because I think it's worth mentioning. Now, I know it's worth mentioning. Conservatives have to think twice before they go out and do anything because of the intolerance of the left. I went through when I was looking the other day, and I was trying to find, are there cases where a mob of conservatives chase down a liberal to assault them or take their things or steal their things or knock their things over? Larry from Clothing Heights says, I have no problem telling anybody about my conservatism. Neither do I. That's why I do this for a living. But do you think twice about it? I do. I do. If I'm going to go to a festival, I'm going to go to a ball game, do I wear something that I know is going to antagonize somebody? Because they won't even listen to my point of view. They instantly want to have a confrontation. But the Karen standing there on the street corner can do whatever she wants. Yeah, you can see she had like the garden hat on that you see Karens wear, and she had on like the big hiking shoes, and she just looked like a West End liberal Karen, just standing there, no thought in the world. Meanwhile, Jessica Kirk can't show up to meet the vice president. She can't show up to meet the vice president of the United States because she was doxxed and there was a credible threat on her safety. They always say conservatives are dangerous. But in reality, my Karen got to stand there on the corner with her dopey sign, and Jessica Kirk couldn't meet the vice president of the United States. If she could stand there, if my Karen could stand there without a second thought, and the conservatives can't even show up for an event, when you're the widow of a man who was assassinated and you're meeting the vice president of the United States and it doesn't make the news, it's not the number one story in America today, then there's two things I want you to take away from this little conversation we're having. Number one is that when they say that conservatives and Republicans are dangerous, point to this. Point out how can liberals protest all they want and you never see anybody on the Republican side chase them down. Yeah, there's a couple outliers. But generally, this Karen stood here in the middle of Richmond, Virginia with her dopey sign, and I heckled her, and that was about it. She wasn't in fear. Nobody's going to get up there and punch her in the face. But you see a reporter from TP USA being knocked to the ground by a huge man. And you see Jessica Kirk, a widow, having to cancel and not show up for an event to meet the vice president. So when they say the Republicans are dangerous, point these things out to them and ask them, really, who's the real threat? Because I don't see a lot of people chasing Karen down the street. I don't see a lot of people knocking over liberal reporters, and I don't see a lot of that going on. And then the second part is ask yourself, why doesn't the media cover that? Why doesn't the news cover that? Why isn't that a bigger deal in our country? It's a question we need to ask ourselves. Why is it one side can freely say what they want, and you and I have to think twice about it? Love to hear from you this morning. Love to, especially, and we have listen, believe it or not, we do have quite a few liberals and progressives and Democrats that listen to the program. I'd love to hear your point of view. 833-804-1140. 833-804-1140. When they say one side is intolerant, they're absolutely right, but it's not the side that they tell you. 833-804-1140 on the James River Air text line. You guys know the number. Give us a call. Love to hear from you this morning. What do you think? Is there something to what I'm saying? I think there is. And I think it's kind of logical. Karen could stand out there with her dopey abolish ICE sign. If I replaced it with a sign that says Viva Trump, how long before someone throws something at her? You guys answer that question for me. 833-804-1140. 833-804-1140.